Hello again everyone, Deflect here, Firm but Fair Gaming. I'm going to bring you a video on Vengeance Demon Hunter. This will be build, guide, gear, rotation, all that fun stuff. And this should hold true for Season 4 as well. But getting into this, before I do, hit that like button. If you haven't done so, share the video, subscribe to the channel. It greatly helps me out. And we'll get into a little bit of everything because it has changed overall. So, getting into Vengeance Demon Hunter, the Covenant you want to play is Kyrian. You want to play Kyrian for Mechanicos, and he does have a great talent tree. So, he has Bronze Call to Action, so you get Brawn. He also has Elusive Anima Accelerator. Basically, I'm in between these two. I do like Reactive Retrofitting. It does a ton of healing. But it is, 6% of your maximum health for 10 seconds. It does very well. It does a lot. It does about 10% if you use it. But on the other side, you can have a little bit extra damage versus a target. So I do go with a little bit of damage versus a 10% healing. But if you are finding you are taking a lot of damage, definitely take the Reactive Retrofitting. As for the conduits, Repeat Decree is going to be one of your potencies. It doesn't really matter any of your finesse. They're all kind of terrible, but they're there, so you have to take them. You can use casting and receiving healing. It has a chance to improve the remaining durability on your armor. You can try that. This one has some play. It doesn't happen very often, but fall damage decreased by 20%, and after taking fall damage, you take 20% reduced damage for 15 seconds. So you can actually jump up off a ledge and take fall damage to get that debuff. So you can do it with a Vengeance Demon Hunter. The Condensed Animosphere, I run this a lot. It just does some great healing. The other one you can do is Viscous Ink, which also reduces magic damage taken. I've calculated it out, and magic damage taken is not a lot of your damage. So I never take this just because it seems like a great thing that's 11% of damage taken, but in a dungeon where you're taking 20 million physical damage and 1 million magic damage, reducing it by 10% or 11%, you're reducing 110,000 damage, whereas Condensed Animosphere during that dungeon will heal you for over 1 million. So that's the reason I don't take it personally. The other one that you could use is Fell Devastation, heals you up for 40% more. That is another one I've been playing around with, but I just didn't have a slot for it yet. I use Fell Defender. It's another must. Cooldown of Fell Devastation reduced by 17 seconds. Great one to run. And Growing Inferno. Immolation Aura damage increased by 22% each time it deals damage. And the last one I run, Healing of Shattered Souls, is increased by 11%. Shattered Souls healing is your biggest healer, so that's why I run that over the Viscous Ink. Those are the conduits I'm currently running and the path I take. Moving on to gear. Gear is going to be something you're after. Always haste first. Always, everything you can get haste first. I am running the 2 trinkets I personally like. So I like the Codex. It does a lot of damage and a lot of healing. You can get this out of streets. I also like Blood Spattered Scale. This is a great button when you're taking a ton of damage and you have a lot of enemies around, and you pop this and you get a huge shield. So great one to take. I am running the Dark Glare Medallion and Unity on my boots. As for the 4-piece, I'm actually running 5 sets because I transferred a piece over because it was better stats. Yeah, damage dealt by Immolation Aura has a 10% chance to generate a Lesser Soul Fragment. Consuming a Lesser Soul Fragment reduces the remaining cooldown of your Immolation Aura or Fell Devastation. So the one ability that consumes a lot of soul fragments is Spirit Bomb. Consume up to 5 soul fragments within 25 yards and explode them. So you will be using Spirit Bomb a ton on this build. And I'll get into that in the rotation part. As for the gear, so basically when you're gearing out, haste verse if you can. Haste verse on everything, and depending on where your stats are, if you want to put a haste or verse gem in, then that's up to you. I did haste just for a little bit more because, you know, it's a little lackluster. I have it up there now, so I might switch these to verse, but haste or verse, it really doesn't matter. Verse might be a little better if you're, you know, finding yourself a little less tanky and you need to do a little more survivability. For the talents, Agonizing Flame, Immolation Aura increases your movement speed by 20% and its duration by 50%. Fallout, Immolation Aura initial burst has a chance to shatter lesser soul fragments. So you have another chance to get more soul fragments when you use Immolation Aura right at the start. Spirit Bomb, like I said, it consumes a soul fragment, which works with your 4-piece. So the more mobs hit by Immolation Aura, the more chance to shatter fragments, the more chance to use Spirit Bomb to consume them to then have your Immolation Aura and Fell Devastation reduced by 1 second. So right now, Fell Devastation is 43, Immolation Aura is 12. So very great to use. I've been messing around with this row, so fracture rapidly slash your target and it shatters 2 lesser soul fragments, or Feed the Demon, consuming a soul fragment reduces the remaining cooldown of demon spikes. Seeing as you're consuming so many soul fragments, and I use fracture. I use it relatively enough, but I've been messing around with Feed the Demon just to have demon spikes up like permanently on big pulls. So Demonic is the other one I'm using, last resort. And then I use Quicken Sigils. I do use Chains a bit too. Just depends on the dungeon, depends on the affixes. So that's the talents I'm running. As for your abilities, the key abilities are Demon Spikes, Fiery Brands are your big defensives. Spirit Bomb does give you a healing, so it you heal for 10% of all damage and you deal to enemies with fertility. So this puts a dot on the enemies for 25 seconds, and I'll just show you this. This is why you want 5 when you do it. When you go up, you can see I have 3, 4, and you do 4+. So if it's 4, it's not bad either. 5 is best, but 4 is not bad. I wouldn't do anything less than 4. But you can see now it has fertility and it frailty, not fertility, sorry, frailty. And you can see now that it's up for 6 seconds, and all the damage I do to it during that time will heal me as well. So you want to keep that up and see it's falling off, and definitely you want to keep Spirit Bomb, just keep blasting with it. So as Kieran, you'll have access to the Vial of Serenity. It is very great. Necrotic weeks, you can drop your stacks with it. Restores 20% health and removes all diseases, poisons, curse, and bleed effects on you. Your other defensive, like I said, would be Blood Spattered Scale. And then, of course, you have Leap and Meta. So if you're ever taking a lot of damage, try and leap away. Get until you get at least some Demon Spikes back or Fell Devastation, because Fell Devastation with Demonic transfer you into a meta state. What this does is gives you 200% armor and 50% increased health. So I have 130k base health. When I use meta, or not meta, Fell Devastation that turns me into meta, I have 196k health. But almost 200,000 health. Very great to use. It only lasts 6 seconds though. So the Metamorphosis lasts 15 seconds versus Fell Devastation lasting 6. Another great ability you have is Imprison. You can imprison a lot of different people. It's humanoids, beasts, and demons, and then you can bypass a lot of things like in Wake or in Miss or in Top at the start. So a lot of great things can be imprisoned, and you can walk by it because it does not bring them into combat. I am Alliance, so I do have Shadow Meld. If I ever, get in trouble, I can always just Shadow Meld. Not very good at Mythic Plus, put that way. You do not want to Shadow Meld because then all the aggro would go on your DPS. But that's one thing you'll learn. And your other two abilities that you use a ton of are your Silent Sigil and your Stun Sigil. This is just AoE Silence, AoE Stun. Getting into what you do in a rotation area, you'll leap in. Don't forget to have Demon Spikes. You can apply Demon Spikes and Immolation Aura while you're in the air. So you can leap in, and you can see you're both in the air with Demon Spike's Immolation Aura. I Unleash and Decree to get enough aggro, and then I'll hit Spirit Bomb. So you can tell in the stacks here, it puts them on Soul Cleave, the stacks, but you can see once you get to 5 stacks, you do want a Spirit Bomb and Fell Devastation on cooldown. So that's basically it. And now that I'm in here and I'm doing rotation, it comes down to just whatever is off cooldown. Releasing Decree when it's off cooldown, keeping your Demon Spikes up, and then every time you get to 5 stacks on Spirit Bomb, you want to Spirit Bomb it. So if you're here and you have a Fell Devastation, Immolation Aura, and Spirit Bomb up, so if you have them all rolling at the same time, you'll be able to, I would pick the Spirit Bomb first, because the Spirit Bomb will heal and do everything else if you have 5 stacks, and it will regen while you're doing the other abilities. So Spirit Bomb, unless you are taking a ton of damage and need to turn into meta. If you do, then use your Fell Devastation, but Spirit Bomb first, unless lots of damage, Fell Devastation, Immolation Aura, back to Spirit Bomb, and then Fracture to get it to 5 if you're not at 5. And that is pretty much the rotation. Just leave out Soul Cleave, you will now be Spirit Bombing instead of Soul Cleave. It basically comes down to a Spirit Bomb mash button. And it gets even better when you have more targets. As you can see, I'm doing 15k damage on just the trash pack. I'm not even really caring about. So you do a lot of damage. I've healed in packs on Gambit for 28k, so you can do a ton of healing with this. You have great survivability. It is a great fun build to play. If you have any questions on it, let me know in the comments below. But the big difference between this and the last one was instead of Soul Cleave, you'll just be Spirit Bombing everyone to consume the souls. And that reduces your timer on Fell Devastation. So you'll have these Fell Devastation, Immolation Aura up a lot of the time, which is great, which gets you more Spirit Bombs, which reduces the cooldown. So it's a great cycle. Anyways, this was Deflect, Firm and Fair Gaming. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll try and help you out. And we'll see you in the next video.